when I'm trying to talk about crazy, the hard part is that it's when I say crazy, most people think of like mental illness, that there's something literally wrong with them, that they're schizophrenic, that they're seeing things, but that the individual person's experience of crazy, the average person that would listen to this, that's just experiencing their life, their experience of crazy is something else. You experience crazy every day. If you watch the news, if you look online, if you interact with other people, you experience something that you individually would experience as crazy, meaning that it doesn't match up with your reality. Why is this happening? This is scary. If it's personal things, if you have significant others, you have friends, they act weird, they're doing something that doesn't make any sense. Your whole world feels upside down. That's acting crazy. Something traumatic happens in the environment, big loud noise, people running and screaming. It feels crazy because it's going against your understanding of how the world works. And a very easy way to look at it is in the modern day is politics. Politics has always been weird, but in recent times, in particular in America, it has seemed more divisive and more crazy, meaning that one side versus the other side seems to act in a way that is unhinged, that does not match reality, yet it still seems to function, it still seems to work. That's what I'm going to be discussing and what I'm trying to talk about in the idea of experiencing crazy. What is crazy? Not just the actual idea of mental illness, but the experience of when things do not match up to reality, because this is something that we experience on a daily basis. And understanding it through a new framework or framework that most people don't talk about is very important. And why I'm going to be talking about it, I'm going to be talking about through active inference, embodied cognition, and the extended mind. There are theories that explain how our bodies and brains and minds work together, how minded things work, how you and I have actions, thoughts, abilities, consciousness, how we share that with other animals, how all of that could work, how all of that could sustain itself. When you take this theory and you place it over our actual real life, no bullshit actions, you can see a series of patterns that you all of a sudden go, holy fuck, I think I get it. And that's what I'm going to try to explain. And we're going to use the idea of experiencing crazy, things that are crazy, as one of the launching points. When I say crazy, and most people are going to think of the atypical, the crazy guy on the street, the crazy cat lady. I'm not talking about just JD Vance, right? There's crazy cat ladies out there. They're not just the Simpsons character throwing cats, but that is an aspect of it. People who are literally mentally ill. And there are people who are very functional, including former and current presidents who may be mentally ill. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your personal experience of the world feeling like it's going and being run in a way that's completely opposite from what you deem as reality. And that's a way to think about crazy. And it's actually very funny because when you think about it, it does really match up well to what I'm going to be describing, which is active inference, which is we bring in models, or we create models of the world, understandings of our world that we exist through, that we believe, that all our actions are based off of. What do I mean by that is your experience of crazy, like if you're looking at that guy running around outside in his underwear, screaming at the sky, you experience them as a threat, as crazy, is because you know you have a model of what it is to be a human and you know you're not supposed to do that. You know that you're not supposed to run around in your underwear howling at the moon. You have history, you have understanding, you have beliefs that is not how people act. When people act unpredictable, you get anxious because it's a threat. We're creatures of certainty. Active inference dictates that. And that when we experience something as crazy, it's not so much that there's something actually wrong with us or the world, it's what's our model, our understanding versus what we're taking in. So, another example. You've seen crazy when you watch online and you see the Karen videos. You see these individuals who seem to be acting as if they're living in their own little world. And we kind of have a laugh at it and we think of them as maybe literally crazy. But this is, again, a manifestation of how we work. That fundamentally, we're creatures of active inference, we're creatures of model making and understanding. And when something goes against our understanding of the world, we experience crazy. And one of the most defining aspects of you as an individual is how you handle that. When something challenges your view of the world, what do? A Karen acts like a Karen. That's what defines them. Why they're even doing that is because something that they see out in the world is a threat to them, a threat to their understanding of the world. Some little kids selling lemonade on the side of the road. Some black guy walking through the store that gives them a look that they in turn think is a threat. And they start doing crazy shit. They're being recorded. You would stand there and go, what is wrong with these people? Why are they doing this? They are not all just deranged. They're lost in their story. They're trying to quiet their error signal. They believe that you are crazy, and you believe you know they're crazy. But the reality of it is both of us are dancing to our own versions of the story. We somehow assume that we both realize we're in reality. But here's the crux. Most of you, I know because only 40 people watch, missed my first episode on perception. We talk about the idea of what actual perceptions is. Now, if you assume that when you're looking outside and you're listening to me, even right now, that you're experiencing reality 100% as it is, you are not. That's already the problem. If that gives you discomfort, you're experiencing crazy. But the crazy is not mine, it is yours. Because you do not understand that you do not perceive the world 100% as is. You can't. Your listening of me right now is not the audio waves of my from coming from my vocal cords directly into your ears. It went through a mic. It was processed. It was broken down into information, reconstituted through an app, and now you experience it. Not unlike your brain. When the light comes in through your eyes, goes into sensors, is broken down to electrical chemical signals, and then in the silent confines of your black skull, you experience sight because it's simulated. It comes from your models. It's how you interpret it. And your experience of those things and how much certainty you give them is what dictates how you deal with crazy. If you believe 100% certain everything you believe is true, well, if you see something that technically isn't there, you're going to have a horrible, terrible time. Fear, uncertainty. Now, if you are a recreational traveler of consciousness, like I have been in my past, I have seen things that I know cannot be there. It wasn't just the drugs, it was the signals that my brain was processing. The drugs helped make them a little funky, but I experienced seeing something that wasn't there. I understand that not every single thing you see can be with 100% certainty it cannot be given 100% certainty that it is there just as I see it in reality. That's not anything to be afraid of. If you're afraid of that, you're afraid of reality. You're experiencing crazy, but the issue is not that the thing is crazy, it's that your model is off. Technically, you're crazy. That's what's so important about this concept, is that really we don't think about it in any way other than, haha, isn't that weird? This other person doesn't see things. Haha, how can half of the country be crazy? Because actually 100% of the country is crazy, and it's just the other half thinking the other one is the one that's wrong. We are all a little nuts. Reason being is we all live in our own version of reality, and we don't realize it. We think the other people are stupid because they're not in our version of reality. And the reason we experience that is because we're not taught. We don't realize that each individual person builds a model and understanding of their own world based off of their experiences, that it's not just mechanical, that it's not just your crystalline entity soul that is going to somehow figure it all out as you move along. You develop, you learn, you build through your understanding and how you react to things like how you feel things are crazy. Do you learn from them? Do you avoid them? That is how you make you. Have you ever thought of it that way? Have you ever thought of crazy as anything other than a threat? Have you even thought about it at all? That shapes you. That's one of the reasons this world is the way it is. It's because we don't think about it in the true, actual sense of what it is. We think about it within our own individual, rational stories that we write ourselves. We don't realize it. And when we talk about it, like I'm talking about it right now, if that goes against what you believe to be true, I'm the crazy one.